Welcome to the Square Circle podcast. I am your host, Marie Shadows, joined by Gio. Unfortunately, Epic won't be with us. He's currently streaming some Dead by Daylight. It'll just be me and Gio giving you guys our opinions of professional wrestling. Here is a few updates for you guys to know. Square Circle Podcast is now on castbox.fm. All 6 episodes, and this episode will be on there as well. You guys can listen to everything that we have to say. And we updated our anchor profile, so catch us on Spotify, catch us on Apple Podcasts and other streaming podcast platforms. We are currently on DLive. DLive is a cryptocurrency streaming platform that allows you to stream whatever you want and whatever you wish. We just have an overall great community here and stuff like that. So let's just get right into it. The first thing I do want to do is give my condolences to Matt Travis. I was gonna say Travis, but it's Travis. I can't believe I messed that up. To give our condolences to Matt Travis for the horrific car crash that he was in not too long ago over the weekend. He was a former member of House of Glory and places like BWF, like around the New York independent wrestling scene. My only fond memory of him was when I got to sit next to him, and I really didn't say anything, but he had a lot of hope in his eyes. He always wanted to get better as a wrestler, even just overhearing his talks with his tag partner, which I wasn't sure who it was at the time, but that's my memory of him just being right next to him. So it's kind of sad that we lost another wrestler in our community.
Yes, tragic, and our thoughts and prayers are with his family and that know him within the wrestling community.
Yep. Okay. I was gonna tweet this out that I was live. Just got hit with a bunch of notifications and stuff like that. So our next topic is that we're gonna be covering WWE. I have said this before on Twitter, and I've said it sometimes on the podcast that I really stopped watching WWE. All of my information comes from Twitter and whatever WWE posts up in little tiny clips and stuff like that, so that way you could probably watch it. I did want to go right into Survivor Series, if that's fine with you, Gio.
It's fine.
All right, so let me just type this out. This is going to be like a very impromptu, weird podcasting, but I have to do social media and all that.
Gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah. So you've been obviously keeping up with all things like WWE, right?
I have.
So you're gonna have to educate me on like certain storylines because I've written down the WWE Survivor Series match card, um, and so we're just gonna go down it. So the same way that we did the AEW Full Gear to give like your prediction and whatnot, I guess we're gonna do that. It's gonna be me and you. So
Okay.
the first one is the Universal Championship match, which is The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan. You're gonna have to give me some backstory on that.
Okay, so this happened, I would say, last week. Sami Zayn has been trying to recruit Daniel Bryan. Huh?
I didn't say anything. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Oh, Sami Zayn has been trying to recruit Daniel Bryan to join him and Shinsuke Nakamura, and I would say Daniel Bryan didn't give a yes or a no. The 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
during the backstage segment, um, while they were talking, the lights flicker and the Fiend attacks Daniel Bryan while Sami Zayn just runs off, not helping Daniel Bryan. Fast forward to this week, they have another segment where Sami Zayn needed an answer as far as whether he wants to join him. He tried to persuade Daniel, like, Shinsuke wants you in, Cesaro wants you in, I can help, stick with us. And then Daniel Bryan said, where were you when I got attacked by the Fiend and why didn't you help? And then Sammy's response was, I had to get Shin. And
Mm,
then Daniel Bryan told him that I'm not going to join your group, but I know someone who can fit the bill, Braun Strowman. But what Sammy didn't know was that Braun Strowman was behind him while
mm,
he was talking trash. There was a segment on the Miz TV with Daniel Bryan asking him, who is Daniel Bryan? Are you the Daniel Bryan who was the leader of the Yes Movement? Are you the new Daniel Bryan who's environmental science, who
mm-hmm,
cares about the world? Daniel Bryan told him that Miz TV sucks,
mm-hmm.
and that what was interesting about that promo was Daniel Bryan said, you don't understand what it means to be passion. These people don't understand what it means to be the passion, the drive, and maybe he might be washed up, and maybe he might be. I believe he used the term something with mental being, I guess, unstable and unpredictable,
Ah,
and
okay.
that's and the only person that understands that would be the Fiend with Bray Wyatt, because we don't know if it's the Fiend, we don't know if he's Bray Wyatt, strings, and then Fire Funhouse appears, and then the Fiend, well, Bray Wyatt was
Uh-huh.
talking to Daniel Bryan, trying to get him to like, I want to fight, but the
Take your
Bray
time. It's
Wyatt,
cool.
Bray Wyatt,
Uh-huh.
um, every time the Fiend attacks someone, it's always someone that's done Bray wrong in his past,
Yeah, I
and
noticed that, especially on Twitter. He's been putting up a lot of pictures from the past.
mhm,
Um, I said I noticed that he's been putting up a lot of pictures from the past on Twitter to like
yes,
kind
he
of,
has.
huh?
No, I said yes, he has.
Oh, to kind of like rekindle certain storylines, and I like that because sometimes I like storylines that kind of go roundabout. Like, you plant the seeds, 3 months ago, and then all of a sudden, this is why we're here, type of thing.
Yeah, so that was interesting,
Uh-huh.
and he was trying to like, and then Daniel Bryan was saying, if we're gonna fight, it has to be for the WWE Championship. He's like, Bray was like, okay, we can play, but you just have to say, and Daniel Bryan,
Wait, I think you
no,
cut out when you said that. What does he have to say?
Bryan, Bray wanted Daniel Bryan to say that one word.
Oh,
Daniel Bryan got on the mic and said no, and then everyone from the funhouse was saying yes, and he kept
oh,
saying no,
okay.
and then he was like a back and forth, and then Bray Wyatt said yes, but in a strange, creepy, twisted yes. It was sort of like he was mocking Daniel Bryan from 2000 and I believe 3, when they were like in a feud because he was doing the yes chant,
Yeah, yeah,
but it
yeah.
was more like a that, and that is where we have the rivalry set for Survivor Series.
Oh, okay. Do you think that that whole buildup was smooth? Meaning that like, it should have happened, or should we had replaced Daniel Bryan with somebody else?
Um, when you think about it, I like that it was. I think the build up was smooth, but right now, who could you put the Fiend against? That's like ready, or at least is higher up to like. All right, these are what the fan.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear
Oh,
me?
yeah, you sort of you were saying the last thing I heard you say was these are what the fans.
Oh, who would you have someone? Who would you put against the Fiend that the fans would want to see at right now on the SmackDown roster? At the moment, I would say Daniel Bryan would be a good choice, considering that the Fiend attacked Daniel Bryan because of their past history.
Mm, that's true. if I had to give you an answer, I'm not sure because you know, one of the many of WWE's problem is that they created this character. They had Bray create the Fiend, and you know, I love it. I understand what it's from. I really enjoy the fact that they made something original, you know, with the help of like creative and stuff like that. But at the same time, you introduce the world to this Fiend character, this entity that you know nothing about, but you don't build another person to go against the Fiend. So this is like storytelling and story writing like 101. Always make sure that your villain has either a hero or maybe have an antagonist, because sometimes the antagonist can turn around and end up being the hero towards the end of the story. But you need someone to like be almost on the same level as the Fiend, so that way we could get a good story and it'll be a deep story and it'll be like, well, you know, this is why we did this story and this is the only person that could combat the Fiend. Um, if I had to tell you right on top of my head, I'm not sure because every other person in WWE is a regular human. You know, if that makes sense.
Yes,
Um,
it
Dan,
does.
okay. Daniel Bryan is a regular human. You know, at one point in his career, I was, you know, a huge fan of his. Now I'm just like, it's Daniel Bryan. You know, he has the WWE stamp on him. You know, I enjoyed him more as an indie performer because you saw that passion that he has. He still has the same passion. I bet he does, but it's more toned down now than it was when he was striving to like be the best on the indies, and that's what I really enjoyed about him. Like I loved the fact that he can go very technical, and I'm a huge fan of like technical wrestling, because there's a story behind technical wrestling. But at the moment, Daniel Bryan is human. You have the Fiend, if you want to play into it, he's an entity, and I don't see where this is going. But then again, I will say it again. I haven't watched the product. I will probably end up watching Survivor Series this Sunday, November 24th. Um, Now, who do you pick to win this match, Gio?
I am going to have to go with the Fiend because he just won the championship, and I think that it would be way too soon to take the championship off of him. But if I had to pick a replacement,
Oh,
since we
okay.
talked about it, um, I would go with Kane because he is a supernatural being, and the Fiend did attack Kane. So my hope is that we will see a Kane versus Fiend uh, collision down the line, hopefully, if the mayor's not too busy.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Um, but yeah, that totally makes sense. And I hope that the viewers that are listening can understand like why storytelling and why creative writers are very important in professional wrestling. Sure, you know, Twitter blew up about like, you know, wrestling's not taken as a serious sport. You know, wrestling is this, wrestling is that, just bad mouthing wrestling. But you always need somebody to tell a good story. And it's a combination of like three different parties. And that's, you know, your wrestlers, which should be two, and then your writer who should listen to them and try to work with their ideas, and they should work with your ideas to make a beautiful story. That's totally you know, cool that Gio had brought up Kane, because Kane is an entity. He could probably still go, you know, to fight Bray Wyatt just to have a nice storytelling aspect to it. Because right now there's no really other person in WWE that has like a entity type feel, a superhero type feel. I do know that on Twitter, like guys like Ricochet and Mustafa Ali will sort of take to the internet and be like, you know, they're sort of superheroes, and I applaud them for
Yeah.
that. But Kane will be the only one that I would agree with you at the moment. If anyone out there disagrees with our pick, just leave us a comment. That's all we ask for. Um,
That's all you gotta do. If you disagree with us, let us know. If you think there would be someone else who can challenge the Fiend, you can. That's fine.
yeah. I was also going to say that I will be picking the Fiend as well to win to keep the championship. Not only because he recently just became champion. I don't know what they would do if Daniel Bryan was champion. I really don't. I don't know what else they could do with him.
He's
Uh,
neutral.
you're
I
saying,
think he's neutral.
uh,
Daniel Bryan. I think he's neutral right now because he's not really doing the yes movement. He's not really talking about the environment. He's just somewhere
yeah,
where
he is
he's trying to
somewhere.
find he's trying to find who he is. If he's not the leader of the yes movement, if he's not calling himself the new Daniel Bryan, he's, I don't know, redemption Daniel Bryan. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
But if
And
he's
I
re,
think
oh, go ahead.
think if they're trying to get the Fiend to be booed because he's been getting cheered every time he attacks someone. So I think that's why they have Daniel Bryan in the
Oh
mix with
my
him.
God.
This is just me.
But like, I can understand that, and I can totally see WWE trying to do that, only because, like, essentially you should be afraid of the Fiend. It's like when Mankind debuted and you didn't know who Mankind was, and he was this guy in the corner ripping out his hair, saying some crazy shit, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want nothing to do with Mankind, like, let me get out of here. The Fiend should have that same type of feeling when you see him. But because there's the Firefly Funhouse and the split personality, you're able to like both guys, and it sort of like canceled each other out to where the fans love him because it's something unique and awesome. To try to get the fans to boo the Fiend, I don't really think that's gonna happen, especially if you put him against Daniel Bryan, because Daniel Bryan is supposed to be like, I was going to say the love child, but that's not the phrase I want. But he's very lovable. And that's what WWE wants to like market on and capitalize on, is the fact that um, because he's lovable, because of that, he's marketable. So tell the Fiend to attack him. Logically, you should get booze, but no, that's not happening. Um, But yeah, I really don't see Daniel Bryan taking home the championship at Survivor Series at all, because I don't really know what they're gonna do with him. I know nothing of what he's been doing. He probably just might be filming Total Divas, and if that's what he's happy about, then yeah, he could do that.
Total Bellas. I think he might be
Oh,
on
sorry,
Total
Total
Bellas.
Bellas. It's Total Bellas. See, I don't watch that either, and maybe we should do another podcast explaining why I don't watch Total Divas slash Total Bellas, but I do love the Being the Elite series and like Sammy Guevara's vlogs. And yeah, maybe one day
AEW.
we should. Only because people can know why I like those things better than what WWE produced. But that's for like
Okay.
another time. Um,
Future podcast. Future podcast.
yeah. So the next championship match is the WWE Championship match. It's Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio. I can understand that this has an underdog type of feel.
Mm,
And I think the only reason why Rey is in here is because of his, because wait, who did he bring in? He brought in Velasquez, right?
yes. And King
And
King Velasquez was defeated.
yeah, I didn't watch that match from Saudi Arabia. Like I don't know, I just didn't. I was like, it's cringy. So enlighten me on why we're having Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio.
Okay, if we fast forward to what happened about maybe a month ago,
Uh huh.
Brock Lesnar uh, arrived on Raw. He was the new, I believe, I think this was before he was the WWE Championship, and he was on Raw, and he pretty much attacked Rey Mysterio's son in the crowd, who was attending, watching as like a fan, and he
Really?
attacked his son.
How
Yes,
come?
Dominic.
How come
He attacked
Wrestling
both
Twitter
Dominic.
didn't tell me this? I feel
Oh
betrayed by
yeah.
Wrestling Twitter.
Oh man, you gotta watch how he attacks Dominic. Dominic, he could take some bumps.
Oh,
Cause
okay.
boy, did he went to Suplex City,
Oh
and
my
then
God.
Ray tried. Yes, but and then Ray tried to help his son, but that didn't work. And then Brock wasn't done, so he kept going. And then Ray just took a beating. They both took a beating, which explains why Ray's arm was in a sling.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
saw
then
that.
Brock Lesnar won the WWE Championship from Kofi Kingston, which was a very sad match to see
Yeah,
Kofi go down.
yeah. That shit was stupid. I'm saying it right now. That was stupid. Everyone knows that was stupid. That was a bad call. You should have like I tweeted it out that it's unfair that Seth Rollins gets to have like a good footing. He gets to have a good like couple minutes in the ring with Brock Lesnar in order for him to like lose the belt at that time, and then Kofi gets what, 5 fucking seconds? How does that make sense? Kofi worked his whole entire career to get beaten in a
He
matter of
did.
seconds, and it's like that's how you treat your champion? Like no, like you should have let him fought, take out the legs or whatever, and then realize, oh shit, I maybe today is not my day, and this is why I couldn't best Brock Lesnar, you know.
It's
But
like,
go ahead.
you know, it's like Brock Lesnar. Okay, you're fighting Brock? F5, you're done. But when you're the WWE champion representing SmackDown and you premiere at a new show, how does it look that you're the former champion but you didn't really have your best match? And he probably could have had his best match had it been done that way. But long story short,
Uh-huh.
Ray comes out with King Velasquez, as Paul Heyman said, the ghost from Brock Lesnar's past from his
Yeah.
UFC days, and he's pretty much avenging what happened to Ray and Dominic, which I believe is like his godfather in that angle, and that is why King Velasquez
Oh my God.
was interjected into that feud, which they could have done without the championship. You didn't need the championship, but okay. But Paul
Yeah.
Heyman explained it too. Paul Heyman explained why King Velasquez got the opportunity to fight Brock this week because Brock requested that. So yeah, that's why that
Mm.
whole mess.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Yeah.
that match is also a no holds bars for
Yeah,
Survivor Series.
I read that, and I had wanted to bring up Bubba Ray's tweet. He was saying that like uh, I'm gonna paraphrase it, but like the phrase no hold barred, right? When he put in like quotation marks, I was able to see it, and he was saying that it's so outdated that like we should just stop using that and just be like no DQ. Only because it's like no move is really barred. You could do whatever move you want, because like if we really think about the phrase no hold barred, that means like actually no, I think I'm saying this all wrong. And before I get heat on me, I'm just gonna say that like he brought up an interesting thing for me to think about, and I have to go back on Twitter and find his freaking tweet. But I really do think that they probably should have just said no DQ. I think
Makes sense. You can't get disqualified if you use weapons. Anything goes
yeah.
type of thing.
I really do think that we should eventually just go to no DQ and just sort of phase out no holds barred, in a way. But we'll talk about that like on another podcast to break certain things down, because I like
Yeah.
I like doing that kind of stuff. Um, so who do you see going over? Do you see Lesnar keeping the championship or Rey Mysterio winning it?
Mm, the underdog story of Rey Mysterio.
Oh yeah, that's such a long history
Uh,
too.
yes. Could Ray shock the world? It's a possibility. Um, I'm gonna have to go with Brock Lesnar, but before I go to Brock Lesnar, I wanna hope that Rey Mysterio has a fighting chance to
So
at least get the hits or something.
So would you rather be neutral with me, because like me and you've been watching WWE for so long that we kind of know the formula already. We know that like Lesnar just got the belt. Lesnar's not going to give it up. Um I don't honestly. I don't see Ray winning it, but I do kind of want Ray to win it. But in my WWE heart, I know that they're going to be like Brock is going to win, and I'm going to get let down. So I'm going to pick neutral. Do you think that'd be a good fit if you want to pick neutral or no?
I'm neutral for the whole Brock Lesnar Ray thing.
All right, cool. Um, just so that way, like, it can be fair, because WWE tends to do this a lot, where, like, they have the underdog in a match, and you build up the underdog. Everybody knows, like, Rey Mysterio's story, so you sort of like want him to win, but then WWE sort of like fucks everybody over, and they're like, no, we're not gonna have him win. So that's the only reason why I would say that it'd be the best idea to go neutral, just to see how it plays out.
I'm neutral.
Yeah. Just so you know, I'm neutral too, fans out there, if you guys didn't hear my pick. So the next match on the Survivor Series card is the women's match. It's the champion versus champion versus champion match,
Chicken cutlet?
You
which
want some?
is
I have to eat lunch. That's what I'm asking.
You can
Becky
eat it. I'll
Lynch.
make soup.
Oh,
The rest of the chickens that you made last night? Because you had 2 chicken cutlets.
I'll
damn.
have that tomorrow.
The chicken cutlets?
Some of it.
There's only 2.
Okay, have it, have it.
No.
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm here.
I know I muted you towards the end because your buddy was on stream, just so you know. So
Sorry.
it's cool. So the next one is the Becky Lynch versus Bailey versus Shayna. Um, there's no stipulation in this match that says that if one female pins the other female, they're gonna like switch titles, right?
No championships are on the line. Just who's the better brand.
I think that's stupid.
I don't make the matches. I'm just viewing as a fan. I mean, can you imagine the chaos if a championship lost and then it'd be flip flop?
Yeah, but like
It would be so much.
imagine the stories that they'll be able to tell, to be like, well, look, if Bailey was able to pin Shayna, she gets to finally dethrone Shayna and become NXT champion. And what would that be? That'd be her second NXT championship won, if that was the case, and then she's still a SmackDown champion. And she could be like, well, now she's Bailey 2 belts from 2 different brands, and she's better than everyone else. It will create a nice story and a nice arrogance that sometimes the women probably need to have, and stuff like
Oh,
that.
oh yeah, Evil Bailey slash Dark Bailey. She has the arrogance. She has like the ego. She just doesn't care. No more heels. No more
Yeah.
hugs. I like it. This was
Um
her career shift that she needed.
I just wish she could stop looking like a soccer mom. I I
Wow,
yeah, like
that's the first time I
dude,
heard.
in certain like angles, and like the clothes that she wears and the makeup that they put on her, I'm just like, you're making her look older than what she is. I understand that, like, she's supposed to be miserable because for years she was doing the whole hug life thing and was so happy and was a huge baby face, but don't don't make her look like she's a mom already when she's not. Like, she's a
She
what.
she clearly is not a mom. She's clearly not a mom.
Yeah, but like the makeup and the clothes make her look like, she's a mom. And I'm just like, oh
Yeah.
my God, could someone just stop? I did notice that on Raw, they were doing, I guess they were doing like this four horsewoman thing back and forth, where like the security came in and security told Becky and Charlotte to back away and stuff like that. So Charlotte leaves. And
Mhm.
then Becky stays and gets up into one guy's face and like punches him. And I'm like, why did she need to punch him? She doesn't always have to be a last kicker. She doesn't have to always be a fiery woman. Like, how does that get your point across and stuff like that? I understand that that she couldn't fight the other women, but why? It makes no sense. I'm just like, oh my God, there's certain things that they need to change about Becky Lynch's character, and maybe one day I can hang out with her and be like, okay, maybe you're not like, you know, all
Get
that
to know
fiery.
if you get to know her, then I think your perspective might be a little different. But
Yeah,
from that angle, I mean, if you think about it, if you go with it, the man, a guard was blocking the man from getting two, um, well, three, actually, four, no, three of the MMA four horsewomen's,
yeah, because there's only three of them now until Ronda shows up.
which I think could be soon.
Oh,
This is my own thing.
uh,
I'm thinking. You didn't like that? She decked the security guard.
yeah. I know that your favorite is Becky Lynch and Bailey. Um,
Hmm?
I was saying that I know that your favorite is Becky Lynch and Bailey. And that you
Yes.
also like Shayna as well. Um, I really think that despite the fact that I'm not a huge Becky Lynch fan, the way that they did this story, the build up was pretty decent. It was cool. It gets eyes on the woman, which that's always a good thing. That's always a plus. And these are the three like best women to like fight. Becky, sometimes I'm not too sold on what she does, but altogether it is good all round and stuff. Who do you see as winning this champion versus champion match?
Evil Bailey.
Eva Bailey.
Yes, I'm going with Evil Bailey because she has been overlooked and she's tired of being overlooked. And I think she will do anything to win, and that will help her and the SmackDown brand. I don't know who will be taking loss, but if I had to pick somebody, I gotta go with Evil Becky. I mean Bailey.
Well, wait, but Eva Bailey is your pick to win. So you think that
I,
she will end up losing?
no, I made a
Okay.
mistake.
Yeah, I
That's
was
why I
like,
said Evil. Yeah, I caught myself. I was like, wait, no,
yeah, that didn't make
Bailey.
sense.
Yeah,
So
I'm
wait a
going with
minute.
Bailey.
You're going with Bailey to
Yes.
win, right? All right. So then
Yes.
here's my next question. Uh, does Bailey who does Bailey pin? Do you think that she'll pin Shayna or she'll pin Becky Lynch?
I'll say she probably will pin Becky.
Oh, that's that'd be
No,
interesting. I could see that happening. I could
you
see that.
pin. Go ahead.
No, I say I could see that happening because I think those two would be so focused on each other. But if they're gonna end up being so focused on each other, Shayna could come right in and do a submission on somebody while the other person's out. That sort of thing.
Yeah, that's always true. You don't
Yeah.
can't count her out, and then you don't know if well she has a busy night because she's going to be in War Games
Yeah.
before it.
Which yeah. By the way, the website that I got the match card off didn't even put the War Games thing on. So my pick, I'm gonna stay neutral, only
Hmm?
because I think that this is a powerful story, despite Becky Lynch saying that she doesn't care about brand supremacy and stuff like that. She just cares about if you have a problem with her, you step right up, come to her face and like you fight it out. But I think it's a powerful story that they're doing, and that's a plus for WWE. Um,
They're actually putting more a little chunks of their women's division. They just need more of that because they have so many talent.
they do.
They
Um,
just don't use them.
And we could argue about this forever on Twitter and stuff like that, and people have already done it. The only reason why WWE doesn't necessarily utilize everybody is because they have to worry about TV time and what gets what and this gets that. But like mainly WWE is like a lot of backstage segments, a lot of you know, interviews and stuff like that, and sometimes not enough wrestling, not enough performance time in the ring. And I think once they start changing that up, they'll see a difference. Even if like wrestling Twitter still fucking complains. Um,
They're gonna complain regardless.
yeah, they
It's
are. That's what they do.
what they do. It's
Um,
their thing.
so the first team match at Survivor Series because Survivor Series is known for team versus team. Um,
Yes.
so what I have here is that I don't have the NXT team because I don't think it was announced, or was it?
We talking about the captains teams?
Yeah, because like Team Raw has, Rollins, McIntyre, Owens, Ricochet, and Randy Orton, and then SmackDown has Roman Reigns, Ali, Braun, King Corbin, and we're gonna call him Gable. I am not
Yes.
gonna
Yes. Thank you.
I'm not
Thank you.
gonna I'm not gonna do that. But
His name is Chad Gable. Chad Gable to us.
Chad Gable, guys, Chad Gable.
Chad Gable.
Even though I know that he's loving
He
the
went
fact that he loves the new name, it's Chad Gable.
Gable. Always Chad. Ready, willing, and Gable. American Alpha. No, they did not announce the NXT teams.
All right, cool. So since we don't know the NXT teams, I guess this would be totally okay. I guess we'll find out, during Survivor Series. Anyway, so I am going to say, for the
Hmm?
record, that Randy Orton is going to screw over Team Raw because no one could trust Randy Orton. Randy Orton should never be on a team. We noticed many times for Survivor Series, and it's the same formula over and over and over and over again. As for Team SmackDown, I'm calling it now. King Corbin is going to be betraying Team SmackDown. We might have a victory with Team NXT because even though there's a lot of different like animosities between like the NXT wrestlers,
Hmm?
um, I don't see any of them betraying each other.
Oh no, because they're all working for that common goal to tell them, hey, we're main roster level too, guys.
Yeah, lately that's been a very, very good story where, you have Adam Cole there and stuff like that, coming in and just challenging people and, having good wrestling matches. And Adam Cole is so believable in the fact that he believes in NXT. He believes in that he's a good champion and that he can take care of everyone else and stuff like that.
He's Adam Cole, and that's
Baby.
undisputed, baby, and that's undisputed.
And by the way, I just want to play Halo with Adam Cole. It's just so hard for him just to notice me on Twitter. I will probably cut this out and just put it on Twitter, and be like, Adam Cole, I want to play you in Halo. That's all I want to do. That's all I
You
want
know,
to do.
as they say, shoot for the stars. So shoot for the stars, Maria. Shoot for the stars.
Thank you, Gio.
Wow.
So my pick to win would be Team NXT. Your pick would be Team Raw, Team SmackDown, or Team NXT.
Uh, let's see. This is such a fun dynamics.
It is.
You can't trust a Viper.
No, you can't.
You can never trust Randy Orton, even though when I call anyone, I don't think I'm allowed to call. Can I curse or no?
Dude, you can do whatever you want.
Okay. I don't trust that damn Viper. So
Damn
you
is not
shouldn't
even a
either.
curse. What the hell?
To some people,
Oh
but
my god.
the point of the matter is you can't trust that damn Viper.
Okay.
I don't know if I can trust anyone on SmackDown. Well, maybe Roman Reigns and his group, not King Corbin.
No.
Uh, I'm gonna go with NXT because we don't know who's gonna be on their team. So I
Okay.
like the element of surprise. So
Yeah.
I'm with NXT.
If you know those stupid questions of like, if you were stuck on an island, like, who would you want to be on the island with you and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Not right now. Oh my, I swear, people are gonna be like, the Square Circle podcast is the most bipolar podcast in all of professional wrestling, and stuff like that. Just, did you just take my slipper?
I want to cut that out too.
Oh my god, I don't even know, man. That should be like, this should be a blooper. Like, I can't have a normal podcast with people. God, I was given blueberries. My slipper flew somewhere else. Oh my god. Anyway, like I was saying, um, you know those stupid questions where they're like, who would you pick to be with you on an island if you were alone on an island?
Yeah.
I would definitely want Mustafa Ali to have my back because that guy is cool and we share the same birthdays.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, we share the same birthday, which is awesome. So, I will pick him off of the SmackDown team. If I was ever stranded on an island, I'll pick him to like just be my guardian or whatever, so I don't be alone.
Well, that's cool.
Who would you pick out of like Team Raw and Team SmackDown?
If I had to pick somebody, I would pick Drew McIntyre.
That's because he's big and tall and scary, right?
Yes, he is big, tall, and scary. And I don't think nobody's gonna really bother me. More importantly, no one's gonna really bother him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'll be
cool.
like on the lookout. Like, I see food. Let's go get it. All right, cool.
You're gonna have him kill it, right?
Yeah.
You're
Like,
gonna have him kill it.
I'm gonna have him kill it, and I'll start the fire.
All right.
I'm
So,
like,
the next match, which is another champion versus champions match. It's AJ Styles versus Shinsuke versus Roderick Strong. Now, remind me, Roderick Strong is still North American champion.
yes, Roderick Strong is still the North American champion,
Shinsuke is what?
the Intercontinental champion.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. And
Yes,
AJ Styles is the United States.
yes.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. That's a pretty good team of champions there. This should be like an A+ match. If it's anything lower than an A+ match, it's WWE's fault. Because AJ Styles is still great. Shinsuke, if he ever gets to use his like full potential and stuff like that, it'll be great. And Roderick Strong, I've seen this guy wrestle live. I was part of the ring crew for Evolve, and I got to see him, and I was cheesing. He's a sweet dude. He's a sweetheart. That's the same day that I met Chris Hero, and Chris Hero has the most softest hands in the business. Yeah, he has the most softest hands in the business. He's like a big teddy bear. Just because he had to gain weight because of his back problem. Um, but this match should be like an A+. I'm doing the podcast. Stop. God, they're really gonna think this podcast is bipolar.
Then they're
Um,
gonna think now.
so do you have any insight as to why we're having AJ Styles versus Shinsuke versus Roger Strong? Is it another brand thing?
It's a brand thing. That's pretty much what Survivor Series is all about. Which brand is better than their brand? So, Styles, Nakamura, and Strong have not really interact with each other
Yeah, they
within
have
these
not.
invasions, which is kind of cool because when we do see this match, and hopefully the match goes on to be like one of the show stealers,
It better.
we can just be blown away. We can just be blown away. I don't know who will win. I don't have a winner. I am just gonna watch this beautiful match with these three talented wrestlers. So I'm neutral.
All right, so I'll make a note of that. I can say that AJ Styles and Strong have basically met each other before in the Indies. You still with me? Yeah, you're still with me.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm still
cool.
with you.
So AJ Styles and Roger Strong have met in the Indies. They are great wrestling together, against each other and stuff like that. Adding Shinsuke to the mix is a little bit different, only because I don't know if Shinsuke ever ran into Strong during the Indies or even in Japan. But I do know, obviously, I think AJ and Shinsuke. Yeah, AJ says, yeah, I watched that match. Why am I doubting that? AJ and Shinsuke met in New Japan, wrestled, and they had an awesome match. I just hope that WWE does not fuck it up. I am actually gonna go neutral as well, only because of I like these guys. I like Shinsuke, even though I want to see him do his New Japan wrestling style rather than like the WWE style, but like I really can't pick a winner. AJ Styles is really good, Shinsuke is good, and Roderick Strong is good. So I'm just gonna go neutral with this. What I don't have on my notes, which I'll show you guys. What I don't have on my notes is basically the War Games, which is the first ever women's War Games. It's going to be brutal, it's going to be bloody, and it's definitely going to be messy, and it's going to take like years off these girls' careers. There's like a big list of people to actually talk about in the match, but my question will be, uh, how do you think this match will go?
Are we talking about
We're talking about
War
War
Games?
Games, yeah, War Games for the women.
Oh man, I hope the ones who are competing at Survivor Series can survive that structure because it's good for the women. It's great overall. I don't know how the match is gonna go, so I'm just curious to see how it all happens.
Yeah. I'm gonna be completely neutral. I forgot who was in this match anyway. There's a bunch of women to name. And you know, us not mentioning like every single woman who's in there doesn't mean that we don't care about it. We obviously care about women's wrestling and stuff like that. But it's just way too many women to for me to memorize, and I didn't get enough chance to like write that down. But I want that to be a very damn good match, and then all the ladies should have like a month vacation because that's gonna be hurting them like the next
Yeah,
day. Um, so those are our predictions for the WWE Survivor Series that's happening November 24th, and you can get it on the WWE Network for $9.99. Um, that's not a plug for WWE like that. We don't get paid for that. It's just
we don't.
natural. Yeah, it's just natural. It's $9.99, guys. $9.99. Uh,
Or and if you like that, if you're not a subscriber and you subscribe for free, you get I think a month of the WWE Network
they're still
for
doing
free.
that.
Yes, they are
Oh my
still
god,
doing.
they're still doing that. All right, cool, cool. They're still doing that. Um, let's see. We're gonna move away from WWE. I just wanted to talk about Survivor Series. I do know that like Raw was pretty stupid. Um, only because of that one thing. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Um, you know
What
what?
what's the one
Um,
thing?
for some reason, whenever WWE wants to do these stupid storylines of like, the whole Lana Rusev and Lashley thing,
There
because
we
be,
go.
because that thing is like so buzzworthy that it's stupid, and I really don't like talking about it. But you saw my comment. I think you saw my comment on Twitter about the science was wrong.
Oh yes, yes, yes. When she was
Oh my god, yeah.
faking pregnancy. Yeah, that was last week's angle.
Yeah, I do know that this week she's divorcing Rusev, but it's like if you're really gonna play it up that you're 9 weeks pregnant, at least give her a fake belly. Like, come on, I don't.
Yeah, we're not throwing body shame at
What?
all.
No. Oh, of course
I'm
not.
saying
But
we're not,
oh,
but she didn't. She just looked regular.
yeah, she's
The viewers listening,
yeah.
she just looked regular. She didn't look like she had like a baby carrying a baby. Now, had they would have like developed it and kept it going, and then she was like a pregnant, and then you're like, holy crap,
Yeah,
she is.
sort of what they did with Maria and Mike Kanellis. A little bit
She
of that,
really
you know.
is. Yeah, but she really
Yeah,
is
she
pregnant.
was, yeah. That's but the way that they shot certain scenes and whatnot, but we all knew that she was pregnant, but like, something like that. But yeah, I just wanted to bring it up that like the science was wrong. Like, not only can WWE not write properly, they can't get their science right. And Vince has 2 kids. Come on. Did you watch NWA episode 5 and 6?
Saw 6.
Oh, okay.
I haven't checked out 7.
Oh, well, I mean, 7 already premiered, but so I'm just gonna go quickly through episode 5.
Wait,
What happened?
say that again.
I said it's probably just me and how
Happened
YouTube messed me up. And
probably. Did you
yeah,
say what happened at the end?
I mean, I saw what happened at the end. I took notes.
Colt Cabana.
Yeah.
Colt Cabana won.
Yeah, I saw that. So in episode 5, Colt opens up with a promo, and then like he talks for a little bit, and I think that's the time when Ricky Starks came in like in episode 6 for that. Aaron Stevens is back.
Yeah,
Aaron
that was
Stevens.
6.
Oh, okay, so Aaron Stevens is back. He has like a brand new gimmick of that you can't look
Yes,
him in
he
the
is
eye.
back.
For anyone out there that don't know, Aaron Stevens was originally Sandow. Still good wrestler. Um, I like the fact that they did a commercial for Retromania Wrestling, which is a game coming out in 2020, all based on NWA, which is pretty cool. We're gonna buy it just so I could play it. I'm sort of tired of NWA doing squash matches, especially when it comes to tag teams. So like the Dawsons versus Mim and
Wait, what are you
Kingston.
tired of?
NWA doing squash matches.
Oh, the squash matches.
Yeah. So like the
you want to see like some stories.
I don't want to see the Dawsons every week squashing like smaller guys that I don't know of. I really don't want to do that. I really don't want to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no clue who these guys that they're just bringing and squashing left and right.
I don't know either. And then
But I guess that's like the Monster Hills.
Yeah, I guess so. They really are. And then after the tag team match, it's Eddie Kingston and Homicide, known as the Outlaws, come out and confront the Dawsons and be like, "Hey, let's have a match. We'll put our title opportunity on the line and stuff like that." But then the Dawsons are like, "Well, think about it." And I'm like, "All right, that's like the oldest thing in the book. Cool." The next was the women's matches. Every time a women's match happens, it's always 10 minutes. And I don't like that, but I understand why it's 10 minutes. It's just that it gets rushed and it gets sloppy whenever
Which
it's 10
match?
minutes. Well, first I was just mentioning like generally the female matches that NWA has, but the Ashley Vox versus Thunder Rosa was pretty good and okay. Thunder Rosa is a force to be reckoned with in the ring, and stuff like that. Thunder Rosa came out the winner. And her finisher is
Yes.
a double foot stop to the back. Eventually someone's gonna get hurt, but Thunder Rosa is a really good wrestler, and she's cool. And then at the end of that one, Marty Bell comes out to confront Thunder Rosa, and Thunder Rosa leaves the same way that Marty Bell left Thunder Rosa the last in episode 4. And then we think that Thunder Rosa went to the back, and then Marty Bell cuts a promo. Addison Kay comes out. She is the NWA Women's Champion. That belt is small, just like the AEW Women's Champion. I don't understand why we can't get like a medium-sized belt. I know my waist is not tiny, so I need a medium-sized waist belt or championship, because certain promoters don't like to use the word belt.
True.
Other than that, Thunder Rosa comes back out to attack Addison Kay, and then you have Marty Bell coming in to. You would think that she was gonna help, but then she also beats up Addison Kay.
Okay.
What happened? Oh.
Interesting.
You're breaking up again.
I said, well, not do it because every time Thunder Rosa encounters Marty Bell, there's usually drums playing in the background.
Oh my god, dude, that's gonna get so annoying as we keep going into the weeks. It's because like I get it, like, the first two times it was fine because it meant something. Like they did it at the right cue, but they can't keep doing it every single week. They're gonna have to like at least cut it out or like I don't know. I just wouldn't want to hear it every single week. I wouldn't want to do that. Um
I mean, it'll probably phase out, but I think it's just part of like her whole her whole
her whole gimmick.
mystique about her.
Yeah, which I don't
Yeah, I
mind.
think that's part of her thing.
I don't mind, but I don't really want to hear the drums every week unless it has a purpose. The first, like I said, the first two times had a purpose and it worked really well. This time around I was just like, no. I don't want to hear it. I really don't. Um Let me ask you your opinion on Eli Drake cuz this dude
Uh,
annoys me in his promos now.
Eli Drake.
Yeah.
He's stirring the pot for a whole bunch of reasons that I'm still trying to figure out what's his agenda. One minute he's like helping Storm. He's talking to Storm. Next minute he's like talking, I guess I should when I say Storm, I should say James Storm.
Yeah.
And then
Um
he's all over the place. I don't know what he wants to accomplish. He's like the um the instigator of
yep, that's the word I would use.
power.
Yeah, I would definitely
He's just
use
like
that. So,
trying to like stir the pot with
yeah,
a variety of wrestlers.
so basically, the only reason why I'm getting annoyed of him is because every time he comes out and when he cuts a promo like old school back in the day type thing, and I'm like, I could appreciate, keeping it kayfabe, keeping it old school, and stuff like that. But it gets annoying when it's done the way that he does it. Um, it's to the point of like, man, why are you out here? Even though he's out there to, like you said, to stir the pot, only because if you can distract the main people who hold, the gold, you have an opportunity to take the gold away from them because they weren't paying attention, they weren't focused. So Eli Drake's promos every time he's out there is just to distract people so that way eventually when he moves in for the kill to go after the 10 pounds of gold, he'll capitalize and he'll get the 10 pounds of gold. But yeah, he totally annoys the hell out of me when he does his promos. It's not his promos are not bad. His promos are good. It's
I'm just
just the way he delivers
no,
it that
they're
I'm like, oh my god, you're so annoying. You
it's
know?
the tone and the
It's
pace of the promo.
yeah, it's basically I think it's the tone, the pace, and him thinking that this is like the freaking 80s. It's like, dude, where
I
is your
mean,
personality? Like I see him copying off of other people rather than having his own personality shine through because it's NWA. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too overcritical of
I
it,
mean,
but like
yeah,
it
I
was
guess
annoying.
I think because of the what NWA represents in the 80s and what it's trying to do now, which is bring like, a newer audience. So maybe the promos, maybe that's his style. He wants to
Yeah, which
bring
is
the attention of what NWA Power is all about by sticking to like the old school ways of the promo.
yeah, which I don't mind. I just have a way of him
Makes sense.
delivering it. Yeah, it does. It's just every time he comes out, I'm just like, oh my god, like why you out here? Why you out here? Aside from that, apparently I wrote down the main event was the Outlaws, Homicide and Eddie Kingston versus Royce and Thom, the Wild Cards. The Wild Cards did pick up the win. It was a very hard hitting, fast paced match. And then like uh the NWA locker room kind of like empty out on episode 5. I don't know. I don't know what I was watching. I somehow got confused. Damn YouTube. And then I noticed on episode 5 it was Aaron Stevens versus Ricky Starks, and that was a 2 out of 3 falls match. And Aaron Stevens decided to put Ricky Starks over for all 2 pinfalls, which was kind of interesting. Um, Now we're moving on to episode 6 because these things are like really, 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 really tiny. So Trevor Murdoch versus Caleb Kingsley. Trevor Murdoch wins that one. You know, these matches are like 5 minutes, not even like full things. Aaron Stevens does another promo. He talks about how he's not retiring from professional wrestling, that he leaves NWA and he wants to go back to Cali to do movies. And I'm like, dude, whatever. We still love you.
Here.
You're breaking up again.
I'm here.
All right, cool. And then the tag team match. They actually had a women's tag team match. It was Thunder Rosa and Marty Bell teaming up to fight Crystal Rose and Brooklyn Creed. I do not know who Crystal Rose and Brooklyn Creed are. I do know who Thunder Rosa and Marty Bell are. It was a fast, quick, pace match. This is why sometimes I don't like the women's matches being 10 minutes. I wish one day when NWA gets, a little bit better, they'll, instead of having an hour long YouTube show, they'll have like maybe an hour and a half. I really do want the women to get more time, only because I don't know many of these women. They have a lot of interchangeable faces coming in and out of NWA now that we're up to like episode 7, and I don't know any of them except for like the main ones you hear. So like Marty Bell was on the WWE Mae Young, right, Gio?
It's part of the first Mae Young Classic.
Oh, okay. And then after that, Marty Bell did some other work in the Independents, and then Thunder Rosa is known. If you ever watch some Sammy Guevara vlogs, she's on there, and they both hate each other with air quotation marks. Either way, Thunder Rosa and Marty Bell pick up the win, and then Thunder Rosa starts talking in Spanish, and I think that's a really nice dynamic to have Thunder Rosa and her mystique of talking in Spanish, and then Marty Bell just translating and stuff like that. It makes it that much easier. There was this
That
weird what?
promo was very beautiful with the translation.
Yeah,
That
it was. I would agree with that.
mix and everything. I was like, fun. Best line of the day for me.
Yeah,
And because I'm a Marty Bell fan, so
yeah. They're both really good athletes. They're really good. They just need more time to
Mhm.
shine on the NWA TV. That's all they need. More time to shine. Um, I I don't even know if I want to talk about this match, but Dan Parks versus the Question Mark. I can't believe they actually did a character called the Question Mark. That Yeah, I'm just like, why is that a thing?
I think the crazy thing is question mark is getting over this
I don't
match.
know who he is.
But it's a question mark.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
You know what I wrote down on my notes? WTF. That's what I
Did
wrote.
you write?
I wrote WTF. The winner was
Oh
definitely
man.
Yeah, the winner was definitely the Question Mark. I don't understand why. Haha. But WTF. Um and then I do want to talk about that. Yeah, you had mentioned earlier that Jane Storm does lose the belt to Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana is the Okay, so what belt does Colt Cabana hold? Is it called the National Championship or the North American Championship?
The national.
The National? All right. Um, you know,
I can double check later on and let
yeah, we'll probably double check. It's either
you know.
one or the other one, the National Championship or the North American Championship. I couldn't remember, but it's a big freaking belt. It's a big it's a big belt. I'm just like, wow. All right, so that
It's red.
is
Is it red? It
Yeah,
might be
it's
red.
red. It's red. It's a red belt with gold plating on it. Um, and Colt Cabana has it now. So that was the quick wrap up of NWA. NWA still brings a smile to my face. It's still a development. It's gonna get better over time, especially when they have more resources and more time to display like everyone they have. The format is good too. I just want women's matches to be a little bit longer so I could get to know the women. Most of the men that's on there, I could understand their story, and I've seen them before. I've seen Colt Cabana. I've seen him wrestle live a couple of times. I understand Nick Aldis. I understand Eli Drake. I understand Homicide. Met him in real life. He's a cool dude. I understand Eddie Kingston because, he's from out here in the Bronx. Like I know how he is.
Yeah.
But like for the women,
You
I
know,
don't
you
know.
know, you get him. You get
Yeah,
him.
I get them. But for the women, I don't know them as much, and I want to get to know them. So that's the only critique that I have about NWA is to have the women have more matches or have about a behind the scenes look at the women so that way they could tell their side of the story and I could like sort of follow along like that. Even if they don't get the time on the YouTube show. AEW is already up to episode 7. The Square Circle podcast. This is episode 7. And I had named this podcast AEW is like anime. Um, it did not hit me until as I was watching the opener that AEW has. So when AEW opens, it's basically a video package of updating us on Kenny Omega's health. After Kenny Omega had a very hard fought um, lights out match with John Moxley. You know, Kenny is broken and stuff like that. He's beat up, and of course, my heart breaks for that because I don't want to see a good person like that, like totally beat up and have a black eye and all that. So, so I felt that, and then the opening match is John Moxley versus Michael Nakazawa, which I was not expecting because I don't think they advertised it. They were just saying that Moxley is gonna be on AEW Dynamite. I didn't expect this match to happen, and then when Nakazawa like grabbed the baby oil and tossed the baby oil aside, I was like, everything like just clicked in my head story wise of like why they do certain things and why you feel the emotions you feel with every single person on the roster. It's like an anime. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's like an anime. You get so attached to certain characters because of the powerful storytelling that it's like, wow, now I understand. Like, finally Michael Nakazawa is not playing around because his best friend Kenny is hurt. And who was the person that hurt him? John Moxley. So he threw away the baby oil so that way he can have a serious match. Unfortunately, it wasn't that long of a match, which was really bad. But
It's very short.
yeah, it was very short. John Moxley picks up the win by doing the paradigm shift. I might be pronouncing the name wrong, and stuff like that. But
Paradigm
it's
paradigm shift.
it's paradigm shift, right? Okay.
Yes,
I told
paradigm shift.
I totally wrote it wrong in my notes.
It's
So
fine.
so that sort of kind of like crushed me where Michael Nakazawa didn't get the chance to fight for Kenny in a way, but I understood it, and that was a turning point where I want to name this AEW is like anime and stuff like that. And also earlier in the day, I was talking with indie wrestler JD Alpha, who will eventually be on this podcast. And he had mentioned something interesting to me, and I never really gave any type of like negative feedback for AEW, but this is really not negative feedback. But I do have to agree with him that the way that they introduce their characters could be a little bit better because like yeah, the casual fan is not going to know certain characters. Like people are not going to know Darby Allin. I met Darby Allin, and he's a really cool person, and he stood, the test of time against Chris Hero during his match that I saw live, and I was like stuck to the match, like very glued to it. JD Alpha knows him because JD Alpha is in the business. But he was right in mentioning that AEW doesn't really build these guys up. It's like you have to be a hardcore fan, an underground fan, a fan that's been following for years to know who these guys are. And sometimes that sort of does hurt the product and hurt them. Um, but the way to fix that is to still do the Cody Rhodes segment of the undesirable to undeniable kind of thing, so that way people can understand who they are, or just do another like have them in, like, you know, the Being the Elite episodes, have them on BT mailbag or whatever, or just have them do their own promos, their own vignettes, so that we can understand like who they are. But with that conversation, that's also why I thought it was like an anime, because in anime they don't really reveal their whole entire hand about every single character. You have to learn their story arc as you go every single week. So this is why episode 7 of the Square Circle podcast is called AEW's like anime. Cool. But you see where I'm coming from, right?
Look at how AEW and anime is similar, or at least how they go about it with their storytelling and slowly building up these characters without knowing that much about them, but we're getting to learn about them each and every week.
Yeah. And then right after John Moxley, wins his match, he gives out an open challenge. I won't spoil that yet. We'll go through the thing. After that, it is a tag team match. It is the Dark Order versus Jurassic Express. Jurassic Express is made up of Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt for this tag team match. Um, I am like highly impressed with Marco Stunt. And for those of you that have been hearing all the podcasts from like 1 through 6, it should have been maybe episode 5 or 4, where I completely defended Marco Stunt, because everybody on the internet was giving him shit about his size, and just giving him shit about everything else. But he knows what he's doing. Even for his size, he's able to manipulate it, and it works really well, and it looks like really cool. Just because he's small, but you know, he has a huge heart, and that he loves professional wrestling. So he does a Hurricanrana into, which is kind of cool, and then he does a Cannonball Senton, and then um, there was one part in the match where crap, I think it's Uno. Yeah, it's Evil Uno. He jumps off the top rope, and he I forgot what move he did, but Marco didn't move in time, so like Evil Uno's head caught Marco Stunt's arm, so he had to pretend like he got hurt, and and then what is it? Uh Evil Uno got the decided to pin him, and somehow Marco basically breaks free of the pin. And the commentators, I had to write this down. The commentators said that he squeaked free. That sounds very
Agreed.
funny, doesn't it?
He what?
He squeaks free.
That does sound very funny.
I had to write that down. I was like, what? He squeaks free? Like, come on, guys. So Marco also does a 450, and then he does Excalibur said that he does a Dragon Rana. I don't know if he did. He didn't really do a Dragon Rana. He just did another Hurricane Rana, but it looked cool from the 450 splash into the freaking Hurricane Rana. So that dude has some moves, and he's very underrated. Jungle Boy does a backflip with his knees landing on the opponent. It must have been, yeah. It was the what's the other guy's name?
Um,
It's Evil Uno and Gary. Is
that his
he?
name?
Oh my god.
Oh, Gary.
I don't know. I don't know if it's Gary.
Since his
No, Gary doesn't.
you
That
got an
doesn't
evil
sound
Uno,
right.
can we just call him Evil?
It's
I'll call him Evil
Dose.
Gary.
It's
Okay,
Dose. It's something like that.
those as
Damn it.
those
Okay.
as in two.
Yeah, Dose as in two, man. So he does
Those.
that. Um. So then after a really hard fought battle, the Dark Order wins. They pin Marco. And then, you know, Evil Uno speaks, and I was like, oh crap, he could speak. Um, and then he
I
basically
didn't know this.
tells I forgot if he spoke. I was like, oh shit, he's speaking. He tried to convince Marco to come over to the dark side to be a creeper. And I'm like, this whole creeper thing needs to stop. It's like so bad. I think it's because like my mind goes like straight into the fucking gutter, and I'm like, I don't want a creeper to touch me ever, like ever.
Well, yeah,
Um,
and the idea that Creeper, out of all the names you could have been picking, you
yeah,
chose Creeper.
yeah, right, yeah. Like out of everything, you choose creeper. Like no, I don't want a creeper to touch me. I don't.
And
Um,
it's kind of creepy if you think about it. You're being a
haha,
see, there we go.
haha. I got that.
I get
Um,
it. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. It is kind of creepy anyway. The way that they come out and they do like the fucking chair for him and they like crawl and shit. I'm like, oh my god, can you guys stop? Like,
Well,
just stop.
they're the Dark Order, so they're from another world.
They are. They're
I
not
don't
from
know.
here. They're
They're not from
aliens.
here. They're just
Yeah.
yes, yes. That's what they are. They're aliens.
They're
That's why they wear
aliens.
masks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh
that's why you have to join their creepy society world.
yeah, and that's what Evil Uno was doing for Marco Stunt, but then Jungle Boy was like, no, he's gonna be Babysaurus, and then like the creepers attack them, and then Luchasaurus comes out. Luchasaurus gets like a huge freaking pop, man. Freaking love that guy.
I love him. I love him.
I
Not because he's a dinosaur,
Oh
but okay, maybe because he is a dinosaur. But it could be the mask. I'm drawn to the mask.
yeah,
I like.
everything works for him, man.
Mhm.
Um, I was gonna say that eventually I want Jurassic Express in our like Jurassic Park series. If you guys don't know, I'm part of Ravage Lands as well. I do this on the side because I love professional wrestling, but on the side, me and my team do a bunch of gaming videos. We did a huge thing of Jurassic Park, and I really do want Jurassic Express to be there with us. That'd be hilarious. It'll be great. We gotta book it. Um, anyway.
It'll be something to work on.
Yeah, it would be. Moving on to the next match, it's a triple threat. It's Sean Spears, aka Perfect 10, versus Peter Avalon versus Darby Allin. Oh my god. Why does Peter Avalon keep losing, man? Like, he obviously he doesn't want to do the librarian gimmick anymore, but like when is he gonna get a victory?
Said I don't know when when he decides to not be like the librarian. That's when he will probably be taken seriously. And you said when is he gonna win his next match? And I said, when is his next match?
Oh, I didn't ask that.
Oh,
Because I don't know what his next match is. I can't see into the future.
either. But anywho, I don't know. Well,
um,
7 has been interesting.
yeah, it really has. What's your take on this whole feud of Joey Janela and Sean Spears? All right,
Can you hear
so
me now?
yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, thank gosh.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Um, so you just mentioned in Discord that the chairman is missing something, and I totally agree with you. I don't know what. Maybe he should drop the chairman gimmick.
Maybe he doesn't like need like the chairman because that was like his thing when he hit Cody over the head, and he didn't really beat Cody in their first and only encounter at that time in AEW. So is he really the chairman, or are they just trying to like take a snub at Vince, who
Mm.
is the chairman of WWE?
Yeah, it's sort of like a troll gimmick, if you want to call it that. I'm gonna coin that. It's a troll gimmick, to be the chairman. Because you kind of make fun of WWE in that aspect. But for him feuding with Joey Janela, I don't think Joey needs it. But then again, I don't know if Joey will be ready to feud with somebody else. So I think right now it's okay, but I don't really think it's the best for Joey at the moment. But you know, that's about it. For this triple threat match, when Sean Spears is automatically out of the match, in a way, only because Joey comes down. Joey attacks him and they fight to the back. So, you know, now it's a one-on-one with Peter Avalon versus Darby. Darby picks up the win via coffin drop, and then Darby answers the challenge that John Moxley has said in the beginning of his open challenge. Um, Darby, good luck, man. Good luck next week with that. Um, Darby could take a lot of pain. He could take a lot of suffering. John Moxley
You're
is
gonna
the
need it.
one. Yeah. John Moxley is the one to like give him all of that and more. I just want to see where it goes. But yeah, good luck with that, Darby.
Be
Um,
interesting to see.
yeah, it will be. So our next match is the women's match. This is Nyla Rose versus Danny Jordan. I don't know who Danny Jordan is. I don't know if she signed yet, but she might be signing. I have no idea. This felt like a squash match, even though Danny Jordan looks like she has some like muscle to her that she could like sort of somehow match Nyla Rose. Nyla picks up the victory via the Beast Bomb, which is like a power bomb. It was an okay match. I want to see more of Nyla's skill and not just doing big wrestler moves. You know, I don't want to just see big
Well,
wrestler moves.
I've seen Nyla Rose wrestle on the Independents. She is a. I just don't think, like you said, you want to see more of her
Hold on.
and less of her like big power moves. I don't think there's no opponent for her at the moment to challenge her.
Yeah,
So that's why they're having her just be their women's destroyer monster type thing. But you kind of also have like another women's monster on their roster.
yeah, they do, which is Kong, and I'm gonna. I mean, you did you watch AEW?
I did get a chance to watch AEW. I think I watched it Thursday, Friday. I think I
Oh,
watched it Friday.
okay. Well, because you brought up Kong, the next one was Tony Shivani interviews Ali and stuff like that. um, oh, Vortex, thank you for donating 3 lemons. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, yeah, I have to look on my phone for that. Anyway, so Tony Schiavone interviews Allie. Allie is like the girl next door. She's so
Hmm?
chipper. She's so young and everything that she's like the girl next door. With Allie, I would love to see an improvement in her wrestling. Whenever she wrestles, I could see how sometimes she could get nervous doing certain things, and she relies on the same moves over and over and over, but they're not like a huge deal. But I don't want to. There's certain things that women wrestlers do that sort of like they do it because they're uncomfortable sometimes, or they don't want to hurt their friends in the ring. And I totally understand that in professional wrestling you shouldn't really be hurting anybody. You should be taking care of each other in the ring. But the
So
way
it's all
that
about
what
taking care of each other,
oh
protecting each other in the ring,
yeah
safety.
oh cool, Vortex, thank you. And no, Ravage Lance, I'm not the new Jim Cornette, stop it. um
The new
so
Jim Cornette?
yeah,
No
man.
way.
Like, yeah, that's what Ravage Knights were saying. Like, no, 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 no. Anyway, but when Addie wrestles, I notice that she's tend to be a little nervous in her forearms whenever she does it. It's like it doesn't look right. It and then she does the same sort of like back and forth moves and whatnot. Like we would have to like really dissect an alley match for me to like get this across. But like I want her to be more confident in like her wrestling ability, because obviously she's confident to be out in front of people. She's confident talking on the mic. She's confident with her alter ego gimmick, right? Because she becomes like an evil bunny, right?
I don't know if she's still doing the evil bunny. That was in Impact.
Oh, but she did it though, right?
She,
My
I
whole
don't think
point.
she's.
Well, even if we
I
don't
mean,
see it in AEW, I'm just saying that she did another gimmick that wasn't
that's-
like the girl next door gimmick. I'm
she
just
had a very darker
yeah.
gimmick.
So
She was in the she went to a different realm, so to speak, where she
yeah.
was not the nice girl next door.
So basically, my whole point is that she's very confident in like all of that aspect. I just want her to improve in like her wrestling to make me believe that when she's in the ring, she could kick ass no matter what and not like pull punches like so much. But anyway, after like this interview, the lights go out. Kong is seen standing on top of the stage, and then like she, attacks Allie, and Brandy, takes a piece of her hair, and it's a trophy. I am enjoying what Brandy is doing. It's something different. Um, she's doing it with Kong. Kong is her like enforcer type uh wrestler, if you want to say
Bodyguard,
that. What happened? Yeah,
maybe.
bodyguard. Yeah, yeah. I'll go with bodyguard. Um, but yeah, it's that, and I like this story unfolding. It's something different. It's putting the women on notice, and you could definitely tell like this has nothing to do with the men. So like this is their own freaking story, and that's like fantastic. Like they don't need any of the men to like back them up to try to help with the storytelling. All the women are doing like a phenomenal job with this, whether or not Brandy and Kong are like involved to take more hair pieces for trophies.
See?
Um, Now moving on to that,
Don't.
what? What happened?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay, moving on to with that is the Jericho promo where MJF comes out too. Oh my god.
Uh,
Um, you know, I said it before where like I don't like MJF, but I like Sammy Guevara. This promo was really good by MJF. Everything that he said, everything that he did the classic move of coming out with Cody Rhodes entrance and gassing
yes.
people. That's a very classic move in professional wrestling, and that will get you heat no matter what. The way that he talks on the mic is really good. Him and Jericho going back and forth was really, really good. Um, it felt like this was not planned at all, that like they played off each other. And of course, Jericho using the one line of like, this is how MJF got born. Oh my God.
Uh, that was
Jericho
funny.
Jericho is
Jericho.
hilarious. Yeah, and then NJF is like, who the hell is Hoovy? And he was like, Google it. Yeah, damn right you better Google that shit. Especially for all you
Google it.
millennials out there. Google Hoovertu Guerrero.
Google
Um
him.
I thought it was kind of funny that the commentators someone made a reference to the skit called Who's on First. I don't know if you did you ever see that skit?
Oh, but I think I should to understand it.
Um you might have to watch it a couple of times. It's I watched that skit at least 3 different times in my lifetime. That's only because Ravage Dragon had given it to me. When this podcast goes up, I'll make sure to leave a link of the Who's on First skit because I cannot explain it, but but it had the same feel of when Jericho and MJF was going back and forth with the whole do you want to join the inner circle? Christopher, are you asking me to join the inner circle? Like it has that feeling, in a way. So I will link
Okay.
that for people to watch. It's really a classic. It's a classic skit that should be watched by everybody. It's really funny. Um Anyway, after all of that, they both agree that the one person that they both hate is Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes comes out despite doctor's orders and like starts beating people up, but then he's so woozy that he gets beat up. And then this is the debut of, I'm going to mess up this guy's name. It's Warlord, like Warlow. There's no
Hello?
D.
Warlow.
Warlow.
War
Okay.
is Warlow.
Okay,
Is it
cool.
Warlow?
Yeah, it is. It's
Warlow.
Warlow. There's no D in it. And I did say in a tweet that if I get his name wrong, I am so sorry. But it's Warlow. I don't know anything about him. I don't know if he's going to be MJF's new bodyguard. Do you think
Looks like
that?
it.
Yeah, right. It looked like he was going to be MJF's bodyguard.
He
Maybe.
was giving them orders.
Yeah, he was too, and he took him kindly, which is kind of weird. Um, but does this mean that the inner circle kind of expands? Is MJF really in the inner circle if like they both hug after they say Cody Rhodes? Do you think so?
Maybe, or maybe now that he has someone to watch his back, he probably feels like he doesn't need the inner circle, or maybe like he's in the inner circle plus the bodyguard, which is whenever um F is in trouble, he'll be around. Kind of like how Jack Hager
Yeah.
is Chris Jericho's bodyguard.
Yeah, probably. It'll be an interesting story to unfold. That was a really nice like segment to like slow down everything else like that. Um, Ravage Lands just put the link in the D Live chat about the skit Who's on First, because Ravage Lands is quick like that. Um, anyway, so moving on, we have a rematch that happens from Full Gear, and it is Hangman versus Pac. Um, I've said it during our Full Gear review that Hangman versus Pac, they have a very awesome chemistry together. They work well in the ring. I like the fact that Jim Ross said on commentary that Pac was born angry. And now he's taking it out on people. I'm like, the things that these guys come up with, sometimes it's gold, sometimes it's just like, are you guys serious? Did you just say that type of stuff? But I'll run with it. Pac,
He looks angry
yeah.
every time.
What are you doing? Pac definitely looks angry. He comes out angry. There was that one time when on the WWE network, somehow Bailey's car had gotten up to Pac, and it was right along, and Bailey is like, "Hey, Neville," and then at the time his name was Neville. Neville was all like, "Are you shooting for Ride Along?" And they were like, "Yeah," and Neville was like, "Fuck Ride Along." I was like, "The fuck is going on?" Like, okay, cool, um, awesome. Like
Evil
for some,
Neville.
what happened?
I called him Evil Neville then.
Yeah, yeah, really, yeah. For some reason, because Pac is so angry, I want to be his friend. Do you want to be his friend?
Yes, because I like him. And if he's angry with me because I like him, I'm sorry.
I bet you're gonna hug him too. Be like, "It's okay, it'll be fine. Let me just hug you."
He
All
might
right,
not. He might not want my hugs.
it's totally fine. We'll do a group hug, man. We'll be like best friends. Anyway,
Group
uh,
hug on three.
what happened?
Group hug on three.
Right, right. That should be a thing. Pac, we want to be friends with you. Anyway, this match felt like it was on autopilot. There was nothing really spectacular about it. Like, I wish that they wouldn't, they didn't have the rematch so right after the pay-per-view, but I understand that they might have had to like fill a spot for the card for Dynamite, but like I wanted their match at Full Gear to stay the way that it was, and then maybe like this week rather than like last week, this week they could probably have another rematch. um the things I wrote down in my notes, that Pac wrestles like he never gets hurt. Like this dude like just goes 100%. Like he's fucking crazy. um I did mention the autopilot thing. uh Hangman does the brainbuster to the outside on Pac, and then like does later on he does the buckshot lariat, which looks freaking devastating. And then sometime during the match, like Pac continues to like stomp on Hangman's head, and then delivers the Black Arrow, and then does the Brutalizer just to win. And I was like, why do you need all that? But um, I for any
Boss.
what happened?
lost his match, so now he's angry and he's taking out his frustrations.
Yeah, I know, but it's like that was way too much. But I get it why he did it. But for anyone out there listening, I am a huge fan of Being the Elite, and if you guys saw this past Monday's episode, called "It's Supposed to Be Fun," I think it's what it is. I'll link it in my description as well. But this is in no way, shape, or form like a paid plug for them. I just love them and will share them no matter what. So on Being the Elite, Hangman really does tell the Elite that he's going. He's no longer going to be part of the group. And now I understand why he's no longer going to be part of the group, and I didn't understand why he said, oh yeah, well, like I lost to Pac and this is why I'm leaving, and you guys know that I never really been part of the team and stuff like that. So now I understand why he lost to Pac. He tells the Young Bucks, I'm leaving, the same way that Kenny was like, I'm gonna take some time away and stuff like that. So both of them sort of leave and whatnot. Which, by the way, for everyone out there giving AEW shit, make sure to watch the Being the Elite series, because the Being the Elite series ties in to these guys' stories on AEW. Everything makes sense. Everything falls into place. Like, if you have time to be multitasking on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, even YouTube, you have time to watch Being the Elite. Do it. And then after all that, there's a backstage segment. We get our first backstage, not really our first backstage segment, but it felt official. Wouldn't you agree? So I felt like this backstage segment was official. I felt like even though they had like tiny backstage segments here and there, but like, it just felt quick. This one felt kind of,
Here,
oh, you're good? Okay. I asked, did you feel like this backstage segment when the Young Bucks was
I'm
attacking?
back.
You're back? Okay. When the Young Bucks was attacking Santana and Ortiz, did you feel like that was like an official backstage segment?
AEW.
You're breaking in
I'm
and
just
out, just so you know. I don't know what you said.
okay. Trying to. I was saying that was like the first time AEW has done like a full backstage brawl, not counting the Omega and
Moxley thing?
Moxley.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally forgot about that one. I was thinking of all like the small little backstage segments that they had, like when, Dustin got his arm broken and stuff like that. But yeah,
yeah.
you're totally right. I totally forgot about that one.
Wasn't that in the
Um,
parking lot?
yeah, it was in a parking lot. It's still considered
It
backstage.
was in the
It's
parking lot.
outside. Yeah, it's outside.
Outside, yeah,
Yeah.
outside. But like
Um,
the official backstage, yeah, I
this one,
count
right?
that one as the first one. Yeah,
Yeah. Cause you can still feel the animosity between the two teams and stuff like that. I just thought it was a hilarious thing, of that when Santana threw Nick into the damn door, and when the door opens, it's Orange Cassidy in the
Orange
bathroom.
Cassidy.
What? Like,
He was like, he just like, all right, I'm gonna let you do you. I'm
yeah,
gonna close this door, and now I'm
yeah.
gonna beat up. I'm gonna beat up. I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing.
And plus, anyway, I thought I think it's probably just the building structure. The building structure was kind of weird in the way that they had it, and I was like, who? It felt like a random bathroom, as if like they built it before the show started, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna do this spot. Like, oh, this is great. And Orange. Hmm?
Cassidy just happens to be in that spot.
Yeah, right. It just happens, especially with the wall, the way that it looked, and yeah, I was just like, did they just build this? But Orange Cassidy being there was like funny. This is how you know that they don't really take anything serious, and I think that's what works for AEW, because then it comes off fresh and natural, even if they kind of recycle certain things, but you kind of feel like, this is cool. I could cheer them, I could boo them, I could be like, why is Orange Cassidy in the freaking bathroom? Like, why is
Why
he
was
there?
he?
Yeah. um Everyone should bring signs on the next event and be like, why were you in the bathroom? Imagine.
That's probably gonna be a thing.
Oh man. And then they battle out into the stage or whatnot, and then Santana and Ortiz powerbomb Matt through the stage, and then Matt is gonna be taking some time off because he's hurt. Nick is still hurt, but this week, meaning tomorrow, AEW Dynamite, Nick is gonna be facing Phoenix, which is gonna be a very exciting match. I just hope that Nick doesn't get any doesn't injure himself further. Because he's already trying to recover from his leg being hit and being messed up. So I hope that that doesn't go further. Um, I do want to mention, yeah, I do want to mention that like I still love the idea that the vice presidents of AEW are sort of taking like a back seat, but they're doing it in a very smart storytelling way where we're not like, this is stupid. We're basically on the edge of our seats in our feelings of like, oh crap, the Young Bucks are hurt. Kenny is fucking broken. Cody Cody
Cody.
Cody Cody is a wild man. Cody is a wild
Yes,
man.
he is.
But he at the same time pulls your fucking heartstrings. And that is what is the best thing about the Rhodes family is that they're able to pull your heartstrings no matter what. Um, and even with Hangman, I like Hangman here and there. Hangman is a very cool guy. He's I don't know, we should probably do like a spotlight analysis on Hangman so that I could find the right words to describe him. But I don't mind watching Hangman. I don't mind like hanging out with this guy. Like if he's able to teach me how to ride a horse, that'd be great. Eventually, I might want to end up getting his T-shirt that says cowboy shit because I thought that was a funny line. But he could pull your
Oh
heartstrings
yeah,
too.
he said that.
Yeah,
He said that line at HOG when
he's
he
gonna be
was one
doing
of the
cowboy
surprises.
shit. Yeah,
He said that at HOG during the when he saved the Young Bucks
yeah,
and that brawl
gonna be doing some cowboy shit.
at their last. Oh,
Hmm. Yeah. But all those guys, the way that they're doing the storytelling is that early on they're getting defeated and they're putting young guys over and they're telling stories rather than abusing their power because they have all the power in the world with the company. I love the fact that they're not doing that.
I said they're not abusing their power
Yeah. All right. So
because
after, oh, go ahead. What?
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
So the last thing that we're going to be talking about is the main event, which is SCU, which are the tag team champions of Frankie, can't talk right now. Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio
Kazarian.
Sky, yeah, versus Sammy Guevara and Jericho, and then Jack Hager is coming out as the bodyguard, and then Christopher Daniels come out later. This was a really really good match. Even though Sammy was taking most of the bumps and Jericho came in and did what he needed to do, and him versus Scorpio Sky is really good. Um, Scorpio Sky gets the freaking pin on Jericho. He does it inside Credo. This upsets everything, and as a tag team, that puts a loss on Jericho and Sammy Guevara while it gives SCU a leg up. But what I was not expecting was Scorpio Sky to get the win over Jericho. But someone on Twitter had mentioned that when Jericho won the championship, he said some words to Scorpio Sky about something. And then, this is like retribution back, for Scorpio Sky to get the pin over him. Obviously, that means that Scorpio Sky is very good talent. He's very good in the ring, and they believe in him. And then for Jericho to allow that pin to happen, that definitely means that Jericho believes in him too. Was I
Oh yes.
expecting? Huh?
Say oh, I was agreeing with you. I was
Yeah.
say oh yes. Anytime if Jericho is going to
Oh
believes
gosh.
in
Yeah. I can't believe I
we're
heard.
breaking up.
Yeah, you were. But yeah, that Jericho believes highly in Scorpio Sky for to let Scorpio Sky get the victory pin in a inside cradle, which was very interesting. Did I see that coming? No. I would have thought that, Sammy probably would have got the loss, or yeah, that Sammy, like if it was the other way around, that Sammy would have taken the fall, only because I don't see the championships changing hands that fast. But for Jericho to get the pin, that says a lot, especially in storytelling. That means that if Scorpio Sky ever wanted to, Scorpio Sky could be like, "Hey Jericho, I got that pin on you, even though it was a tag team match. I still got a one up on you, and now I want to challenge you for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship." And that's where we're at. Those are the little tiny storytelling techniques that AEW does better than WWE, which is more for like long term storytelling, which I definitely love that. But those little tiny victories are seeds planted, so that way 6 months down the line, you understand why two people are there at that particular moment in time.
True. Now, how will the El Champion um, handle his first defeat?
I
Be sure it's
mean,
not on the line.
I don't think Jericho's gonna lose any type of sleep over this, because it is a tag team loss. It's not necessarily like a loss to him and his singles career, but it's not really gonna set them back. Jericho just try to think of something creative to say and whatnot. Like, he had the most surprised face in the world, which anybody would have, because nobody was thinking that. So I don't think that he's gonna lose any sleep over it.
I don't think so. He'll probably be like, it doesn't count.
Probably, right? Yeah, probably. Knowing him, right? He's
Yeah,
gonna be like, "Well, I wasn't having a good day. Whatever. I had too much, a little bit of the bubbly. Whatever he has."
much of the
Um.
bubbly.
All right.
Yeah, he had too much of the bubbly.
So that comes to the end of our podcast. I do want to thank everybody for donating. Again, we are live on D Live. The reason why we are not streaming this live on YouTube is because the last time I tried doing that with Restream, it was just a huge mess. I haven't called a particular platform home yet, so do not worry about that. D Live is just a place that I know that people come and chat, and we have friends there too as well. But once we start getting situated and I start looking around for other stuff and try to find a home, you guys would know. Just know that this Sunday, it's going to be an impromptu live stream. I won't necessarily be talking about like wrestling shows, but I do want you guys to understand what the Square Circle podcast means to me, and of course to our panelists and stuff like that. Our panelists can join if they want to. They don't have to, but this is me showing you guys behind the scenes of like where you can listen to the Square Circle podcast, how you can share stuff. You don't always have to give a donation. Donations are welcome. They're not forced, and look at our website and stuff like that, just to understand who we are. That's what I'm going to be doing for you guys on Sundays. Impromptu live stream. I'll tweet it out. Make sure you're following me at Marie_Shadows on Twitter. Um, what else should I mention? Um, like I mentioned in the opening, we are on anchor.fm. And then through Anchor, it distributes our podcast to Spotify, to Apple, to other platforms that are on there. We now just got castbox.fm, which you can listen to all 6 episodes, including this one as well. I will update our website so that you guys could listen to it on there. The sky's the limit. All we ask is a simple support. That's all it is. Sharing is caring. Sharing is free. Um, we do this because we're we have a passion about professional wrestling. It started because I got upset at the ending of Hell in a Cell and just wanted to rant about it, because in the history of Hell in a Cell, a gimmick pay-per-view, why would there ever be a stoppage to
There's,
therefore be a DQ? Why? Like,
there
come
has
on.
never been in the history of a Hell in a Cell match before it was like a pay-per-view gimmick name where the opponent the bell to stop the match because the other wrestler was trying to incapacitate the other wrestler. That's never happened until 2019.
Yeah,
So
and this is
first
why we're
time
here.
for everything.
Um, so this is why we're here. But myself, Epic, and Gio and Alpha Russ, we all enjoy wrestling as a whole, no matter what. So we're not always going to focus on the negative of professional wrestling. We will talk about professional wrestling as a whole, and give the good, the bad, the ugly, and how things could be fixed. Just because we want to see this business succeed and stuff like that. On Sunday, I'll go into more detail about our plans for 2020 and beyond, because I am thoroughly enjoying this, and I hope you guys are definitely enjoying this. If you guys are enjoying this, just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you have that bell notification on. Subscribe to the D Live channel, because D Live does a very cool feature where we have a chest involved. So whatever donations you give during the stream, I will take 5% of those donations, put them in the chest, and at the end, do not ask me to open it up in the middle of the stream. At the end of the stream, I will open up the chest rewards, and you guys will have to press the button that says distribute rewards for you to get some donations back. And eventually, if you make enough currency on the D Live platform, you can get paid. So you can get paid being a fan of the Square Circle podcast. How cool is that? I'll go into more detail about that on Sunday, even though that's the gist of it. You can also follow us on anchor.fm. Like I was saying, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we are on castbox.fm. All this will be in the description and stuff like that. But any support goes a long way. I'm thinking big. I really want this to succeed, and with your support, it will succeed. I hope you guys enjoyed the crazy episode 7 called AEW is like anime. And I hope to see you guys in episode 8.
Hope you guys enjoyed the show.